Hi guys, I'm back with another thrift haul. I feel like I'm getting really good at style-based sourcing. I still have a lot to learn. I learn something new every single day, but I have found some key aesthetics that I'm able to spot and source consistently. These styles are selling for me reliably, and not necessarily because of brand, but because people are actively searching for that vibe and look of the item. So that's what a lot of this haul is going to consist of. Items I picked up not because of brand, but because of style and aesthetic. I do have some BOLO brands mixed in here too though, and BOLO brands are those items that I pick up somewhat based on style, but mostly with those items the brand is going to be doing the heavy lifting. Buyers follow BOLO brands, they know them and they search for them. So that's what I mean when I talk about BOLO brands. I have about 70 items between this bin here and this rack. I'm on a mission to get this thrift haul done before the kids get up and start making a racket. So let's get right into it. So in this bin at the top we have the shoes, and then towards the bottom we have the clothing. Let's get started with the shoes. This is from last week. So Memorial Day sale, the day before Memorial Day. The stuff that has already sold, those fast sales, you will see in an upcoming income report. But this is the stuff that's still around. On the screen you will see the selling prices if these have sold by the time this video goes live, or the listing prices. This first pair of shoes is by this brand called Zero Shoes. It is a minimalist barefoot running type of brand. I love picking up their shoes, although the value of them is slightly starting to decrease, so I am looking up most of the shoes that I find by them, although there are some boots and other kind of things that I pick up no matter what because they're not this typical just plain mesh style shoe. These I try to look up the size, color, and all of that just to make sure that I'm going to be able to make money off of them. Same with this one here. It is called TM. These are some cycling style shoes. I like to see this little bracket thing. I forget what it's called, but if that has that on the shoe, it's a lot better. TM sells reliably for me too. Every time I pick it up, it sells pretty quickly. Here's this brand called Naturalizer, which is a comfort shoe brand. Some of their stuff can do well, but a lot of it is just basic stuff that I leave behind. If it's a W after the size, that means they're wide, and if I can get them at a cheap price, I get them, because wide size shoes do better than just normal shoes, so that's why I picked those up. These are by the brand Puma, which I know you know and recognize. These are like some boxing style shoes. I did pay like $12 for them, but I looked them up and I thought that I could make them work. Although I did see when I was looking up comps that the taller ones are the ones that are better. I have sold some very tall Puma shoes before too, so anytime you see a Puma shoe that looks similar to this but they're super high top, I'd look into them because those are worth a lot of money. Here we have a brand that I've been picking up a lot in clothing. I didn't realize it until I looked into my Poshmark closet's insights and I saw that Free People is selling for me in clothing and shoes. I'm selling a lot of it. I do find a lot and I skip a lot when it comes to clothing, but with shoes, when they look like this, they're like chunky, retro looking, I do pick them up. These kind of remind me of like Jeffrey Campbell, where they make like wacky, chunky, rave, Y2K style shoes. Those I pick up no matter what, but when they're more plain, I do like to look them up. These I picked up without looking them up just because they have a lot of stuff going for them, a lot of unique features like the quilted chunky platform strap that wraps around the ankle. I didn't price them too high because when I looked up comps, it didn't look like they were going for much, but I only paid maybe like $3 or $4 for them, so I can't imagine those not working out for me and leaving more than enough profit. These are UIN shoes. They often have Toledo on the title too. It depends on the artwork that's on them, how much you're going to get for them, and how fast they're going to sell. I looked them up. They seem to be be doing great, and they're always in great condition too. So we'll see how these do for me. I tell y'all this all the time in my thrift hauls. I love picking up red patent pumps because it's a style that just is classic and people buy it all the time for parties, formal events. These are by Jessica Simpson, ankle strap, pointed toe, great condition. So I think these are going to sell great for me too. Here's that brand I just showed you again, that Toledo UIN. I think the brand name is UIN and they're made in Toledo, and this is supposed to be a map of that country city. I don't even know what it is, but this whole engraved bottom sole is supposed to be a map of that. And these are a little bit more wacky. It's like a cat skateboarding, super colorful, paint splatters everywhere, great condition, slip-on style. These I did price up a little bit higher than the other ones. These I picked up based on style because I felt like they fit a lot of different kind of fashion aesthetics, like fairy grunge, lag and look, Victorian. These are the kind of shoes that people look for Ren fairs as well. They are by this brand called Monroe. I don't know if you can see it in there. Oh, here, I'll show you at the bottom. It's a brand that's not worth a lot. I skip it all the time, but these were $3. They were a great aesthetic, as I said, so that's why I got these. I feel like this is my replacement for Clark shoes. It's called Ortho Feet. I used to pick up a bunch of Clark shoes because it was a comfort shoe brand that was selling like hotcakes for me, but not anymore. I do find some that still do well, but for the most part, it's a lot of skips when it comes to Clarks. But when it comes to Ortho Feet, it's a lot of yeses, unless they're priced up too high, which some thrift stores do that. But if I can find them for like $5-7, that I'll get them. Sometimes I will pay up for them if they're a more substantial style, like fur-lined boots during the winter. Those I am willing to pay up for because they sell for a lot more. These though are in great condition, like new condition, and I've sold this same style before, so it'll be a super easy listing. Just copy and replace the photos, change around the size, and it's ready to go. These are by J. Crew. It's a cursive lettering. I don't know if you can see it there. That is their more newer style and just their more substantial kind of either clothing or shoes. When it's cursive, I just find that they're a lot more higher quality. Sometimes also they'll say made in Italy. That's even better. But these are just some plain-o flat square toe. They're gathered with the stretchy trim here. Just elevated kind of basic, which I will get if I can find for like $4 or $5. So that completes the shoes. I told you I'm not finding as much as I used to. Now we're moving on to the clothing. The first top we have here is this beautiful printed brown. I believe it's linen too. Yeah, it's 100% linen. Ralph Lauren, size 3X. I told y'all this kind of top has been doing well for me, the plus size Ralph Lauren. Although I think I'm going to start slowing down just a bit. I do have another one over here somewhere that I will show you. I'm going to wait just a little bit just to see if they do end up moving for me, because I think I have maybe like 4 right now, including this one, the one I'm going to show you. I just want to make sure they're going to move at a decent price so that I can know what's okay to pay for it. But this one, hopefully it sells before the summer ends. I thought it was pretty, and I used words like Southwestern, Western for that one. Here is the next top, which is by Ali Miles, another brand that I talked about in the last thrift haul. I'm giving it a try. This is the second one I got. This is a large. The other one was also a large. I'm looking forward to the day that I find one that's more like a 2X or 3X and that is super artsy and unique. This is, but not the most exciting, I'd say, but it does have a lot of cool things, and that's what you're going to see with Ali Miles. Has buttons down the back, these square buttons in the front, the mixed print. So we'll see how this one does. I think I'm not going to be picking up any more large though, unless it's extra cool. I'm gonna wait until I find a higher size and also a more unique style. The next few pieces are going to be sweaters. The first one is this Zara piece. This I do remember finding on Memorial Day for like $2, which I thought was excellent to begin with because of the style. The button down, the patch pockets, it's a longer length cardigan. But then when I looked at the inside tag and saw the material, I saw that it's some sort of wool blend. I think alpaca, I'm not sure. But that solidified the pickup for me. I think that even if it doesn't sell now, come fall, winter, it will have no problem moving for me. And since the investment is so low, I thought, why not? Same with this one. I actually picked this sweater up at the Fort Worth bins on Memorial Day. I went towards the Fort Worth area. I shopped at like 3 thrift stores down there and then the Fort Worth bins, and I found this piece. It is by Talbot's, also some sort of wool blend, just very chunky, heavy knit style. It is a large, the typical brown color, also patch pockets, the one button detail there. Again with this one, even if it doesn't move anytime soon, come fall, winter, I'm sure it will. And then for our last jacket slash sweater piece, I have this one here, which I've never heard of. It says Paparazzi by Biz here, and then when I looked it up to start listing it, I saw some other acronyms some people were using to list this. DB Sport, I think. I don't know, but I really love this jacket. It's a longer length, embroidered everywhere in the front, the back as well. It does have shoulder pads, so it'll be a little bit structured when worn. Buttons down the front. Inside it also has some embroidery, and it says, "Where there is love, there is life," which I completely agree. I did pay up for this jacket, let me tell you. It was like $15 or $16. It was on a day that I was shopping where only certain colors were at a discount. This one was unfortunately not the color, which just means that that's their newer inventory. Now I was going back and forth whether I wanted to make that much of an investment on a piece that may not be moving anytime soon. But when I looked up comps, I saw that they were going for like $70, $80, sometimes up to $100 for other people. Since it's so beautiful and I want to start kind of slowly picking up items for fall and winter so that I'm not caught off guard with nothing new to list in those kind of winter items, I decided, you know what, I'm just taking it and trying my luck with it. This next piece here is by Free People, but specifically Free People 1. It also has this brass colored little tag here, which you'll normally find where it's spelled out Free People, but this one just says FP1. It is apparently a convertible skirt. That's what people were calling it in the titles, but I didn't see any stock photos showing how it's convertible. I didn't feel like doing much more research. I just went ahead and listed it. But I love the style of the skirt. So Southwestern, boho, festival. It's like a asymmetrical hem. It is lined. It feels gauzy. I thought it was beautiful. And these kind of skirts by Free People have been doing so well for me in the skirt section. I try to I look through the whole skirt section, but when I get to the maxi skirt section, I'm extra careful to make sure I'm looking through it very well because those are doing good. I did find another skirt the same day that was just a plain brown Free People skirt, and I thought, I don't know if I want to pick this up since it's plain, but it was maxi length. Come to find out, a lot of people wanted it. I woke up in the middle of the night with like 3 different offers. The List Perfectly didn't unlist it on time or delist it in time, so it ended up selling twice. It was a lot of attention right away on that brown maxi skirt, so next time I find it, I'm probably going to list it a little bit higher. And again, still going to be on the lookout because there's still plenty of time before summer ends, and those could probably still sell in the fall, but really going to be looking out for those Free People skirts. Here's this dress by Intro, which I was just talking to y'all about in the last thrift haul. The dress I showed you in that one was a little bit more on the plain side. It did have some stuff going on, but nothing compared to this one. Look at this thing. It has a collar, beautiful print all over, flower buttons. The sleeves are like Doman type sleeves, flare at the bottom. I thought this thing was so beautiful, which is why I decided to pay up for it. I paid, I don't remember, it was like $7 or $8, which is a lot for Intro. Intro is just a boutique style brand. Oftentimes when you Google Lens their items, you're going to see it pop up on all sorts of websites sold by all sorts of companies. So it's more like a wholesale type item, I'd say, where people just buy the style of it and then slap on their own logo for their brand on it. That's what Intro does. But I'm pushing my luck with this one. I decided since it's such a cool piece, I wanted to see how far I could take Intro. Normally I get anywhere from like $18 to $22 for Intro dresses. Sometimes I'll take a little bit less if I didn't pay up too much for the piece or if I'm having a slow day or something, but for the most part 18 to 22. This one I listed for $40 and I'm hoping to get at least $30 for it. Not much attention on Poshmark, not much attention on eBay, but on Depop it gets likes every single day. If it doesn't sell within the next couple of weeks, I'll go in and drop the price a little bit, but I thought that was the perfect piece for me to try my luck pushing the boundaries, which is something that I've been doing a lot lately with style-based sourcing, just because something's got to give. If I'm not finding that many items, and I'm going to be doing a lot more style-based sourcing and I'm going to be paying up a little bit for them, I want to be able to sell them for a lot more. With this one too, I'm trying my luck. It's a Shakti, which I do find somewhat consistently when I go sourcing, and I skip it because they're mostly plain, but I thought this one was so beautiful. It's just a midi dress, like half sleeves, but look at this print. There's like owls, there's trees, flowers, moths. So I thought that I could use a lot of different kind of keywords with this one, like especially forest fairy. It is in a plus size 22W, and I forget what I listed this for. I think like $30 or so. So we'll see how that one does. But yeah, some Shakti dresses, when they're unique styles like that one, can do well. So I'd say look them up if you find them. This next dress is by Pilcrow, which is an Anthropologie brand, but now they're not putting by Anthropologie, or what was it before? Pilcrow in the letterpress is what it used to say. This is like their newer tag, and it is this tent dress, super flowy, a thick cotton material, raw edges here and at the bottom as well. I don't remember if it was the sell-through rate that didn't look good or the sell price, but I decided to give it a go anyway. It was like $2 or $3, and that kind of aesthetic does well on Depop, so I thought I wanted to give it a try even though comps didn't look so good. This one is by Harold's. It is 100% wool, size 4, a little flowy skirt. I love the graphic, like a gray and a black. So these are the kind of skirts that I'm looking for as well when I'm looking through the longer length ones. These in the fairy grunge style, the boho style from Free People and other brands, which I'll show you some more when we get to this rack. And that's the end of the dresses and skirts. Now we're getting into some bottoms. The first pair is this dark green cargo wide leg pant. This one is by Cabby, which is one of the brands that had a big fall off compared to when I first started reselling. It used to do so well in so many different pieces, but now you have to be extra careful with what you pick up. They do have style numbers on the tags, and people search those style numbers because although it's fallen off a little bit, I feel like people still follow it and they search those exact style numbers. So I try to remember to add that in my listing because I want it to be there in case people search for it. When I looked up this item on eBay, it was doing really good. The sell-through rate was like at a 40% maybe, or a little bit higher, and then the sell price was in the 30s or 40s. These actually sold yesterday for me for $30. I knew it was in this bin. I didn't feel like digging for it, so I'm going to be shipping this out today. But yeah, Cabby pieces, definitely do your research because some of them can do good. I was really excited to find this pair of pants. I knew it was a BOLO brand. It's Emoji and Willie, and I actually spotted them just passing by the pants section. I was in a hurry and I thought, you know what, let me just go look through the skirts real quick, and if I have time I'll come back to the bottoms. But something I've been trying to do is just, instead of rushing to the section I want to go to, look on my way there. Even if I'm not going to be actively like sorting through everything, at least look to see if anything stands out to me on my way there. That's exactly what happened with these jeans. They just stood out to me in that row of pants, and sure enough, it was this very big BOLO brand. These are men's pants. They are a size 29, which may be a little bit on the smaller side, but I think these won't have any problem moving for me. The sell-through rate was amazing. It seems to have a large following. I think they're handmade, and yeah, it's just an amazing brand. This next pair of pants is by the Zara Surplus brand. I never heard of this. I assumed it was like a brand from Zara when I saw the tag, but I never seen it, never bought it or sourced it, sold it, nothing. I do see a lot of leather pants when I'm going through the pants section, but I skip a lot of them. Some of them by Wilfred, some of them even by Free People, some Express, I forget, but I see a lot of leather pants, and when I look them up, they're not worth nothing. These though, I thought were super unique and different. I did try looking them up at the store, but I didn't find that much information, but because of the style, I decided to bring them home anyway. They have like this extra detail here on the inner like thighs or legs that I thought was neat. They have these patch pockets in the front, but also side pockets too, back pockets, zippers on the pant legs. They are a women's size small, and then the tag in here somewhere says that it's sheep skin leather. So because of all those reasons, I decided to give these a try, and they were like $5 or $6. I talk about this all of the time. It is the Maeve Colette pant. It is still going extremely strong. Most of the time I pick it up and just don't even look it up, but there are times that I am like, you know what, let me look this up, because who knows if this size or this colorway is gonna do well, and it's never been a no, hardly ever. Maybe because of condition, but no, all Colette pants are doing well for me. These are some pinstripe ones, and they are a tall, which I think is a plus. It usually seems to move a lot faster. This says 32T, so that tells me it's tall. Another plus with these pants is when they're linen, so I always check that as well to make sure I add it to my title. These are linen blend. I will accept anywhere from $28 all the way up to like $30, $32 for those, but usually I try to sell them for $35 and up. These didn't look that good when I looked them up. They're by LL Bean, and they are a larger size, an extra large, 100% nylon, and these are women's like hiking style pants. These were priced at like $3. When I looked them up, as I said, the comps were terrible. The sell-through rate specifically was very low, but I thought that I had something unique compared to the listings I was looking at on eBay, because they're convertible. You can remove the pant leg, and also they have some sort of like insect repellent, so I made sure to put that right in the front of my title or description to see if I can get those sold for a decent price point, hopefully at least like $25. I found these pants that exact day as the LL Bean ones. They are by this like fast fashion cheap brand called Cider. I didn't even realize they were new with tags. Paid like $4 for these, and this style of pant does really well for me on Depop. The pleated front, wide leg. I've sold plenty by Aritzia, the Babaton brand, on Depop that look just like this, so hopefully I can get those moving, even though it's not that much of a notable brand. Cider is cheap and people don't pay up for it. This is called Favorite Daughter. I think I've heard that this is Anthropology brand. These also didn't look good when I was looking them up. They're wide leg, also pleated in the front, but more of a denim style. I decided to give them a shot because I didn't pay that much for them, because they are a dark wash, because the cut of them is popular right now. And also sometimes when I look up comps, if I see that the item has sold for a lot, lot for other people for like $60, $70, $80, but the sell-through rate is slow, I'll still get it. I just know that I'll have to price it way below that to get it moving. So that was the case with these. I priced it way below what other people have sold it for in the past. So hopefully I don't sit on those for too long. This next pair of pants I spotted just like I did those Emojing and Willy pants. I was headed towards the checkout. I usually don't go through much of the leggings. If anything, I'll scan them. But I looked down the aisle and these stood right out to me with the bold purple color, side stripes, and I just knew that this was a higher quality Adidas piece. Some Adidas pieces are just cheap. They make them for Ross and those kind of stores. They're not worth much, but this feels substantial compared to those. They have the snap buttons all the way down the bottom. The keyword people use for this is tearaway pants, track pants. They're in excellent condition, a women's size small, and I listed them pretty high. We'll see how these do. So the little one ended up waking up already. He was out there playing with a dog. Went to go settle them real quick. But we're back to finish this bin off. The next pair of pants are by this brand Spanx, which I also was showing you in the last haul. This right here is their newer tag. It's their most recent styles. I picked this up without even doing comps because of all of those reasons, but maybe I should have looked them up. These are a 2X, very lightweight pants. When I went to list them, I can't remember what I ended up seeing, but I just know that I thought, oh, these aren't going to do as well as I thought. So moving forward, I'm gonna look up all Spanx pants, even if they look like that or even if they have that newer tag. I think the problem was that I paid too much compared to what they're going to sell for. This is another bins pickup. It is Vince Camuto. This one was at the Dallas bins though, and I picked it up just because I wasn't finding that much stuff. I've been like 4 times already and I'm there for like 2 hours. I dig through all of the bins and I find nothing. None of the brands I normally see at the thrift stores, nothing. So in the end, I just end up picking up things where I'm pushing my limits basically. So this is a Vince Camuto 2XL sweater. It has gold beading that says peace, a dark green color, just like some of the other sweaters I've shown. Maybe they're not going to sell anytime soon, but they're good items to stock up on before we even get there. Same thing with this one. It's also Vince Camuto, also from the bins, size medium. And this one I got because I love the color block situation. It also has patch pockets here in the front, a long sleeve sweater. So we'll see how this one does for me. Next or last pair of pants, which I guess I must have skipped earlier, is by this brand called YBF, which stands for Young, Fabulous, and Broke. Kind of looks like the Free People tag, so sometimes you could get it confused. But I picked these up because of the style, the cut of the pant. It is a barrel leg, dark green color, super stretchy waist. These are a size large. I did look up the specific style in this brand on eBay before picking it up because I know that it's not worth that much and it can sit. These particular barrel leg pants were doing really well. They're going to sell for like $20, not much more than like $22. So I picked them up because they were so cheap, mostly because of that, because as I said, the brand is not worth a lot. Now we're moving to the haul that's from this week, so the more recent pieces. The first pair of shoes, which I have 5 only, is by this brand called C by Chloe. Let me fix it so you can see it right. It is embossed in there. I'm not sure if you can see it. I'll put up a screenshot instead if you can. But this is an excellent brand, obviously an offshoot brand from the brand Chloe, which is super expensive. This is my second time finding this brand. The first time it did sit for a while, but then it ended up selling for a really good price point. So that's what I expect to happen with these. And the last time and this time I didn't pay much, like $5 or so for this brand. and for that price, that's excellent. I don't mind waiting if it's gonna sell for $60 or $70, and that's what I expect with those. These shoes right here are some hidden wedge athletic shoes by Adidas. A lot of hidden wedge shoes that are athletic style do really well for me, especially the Converse. Those I pick up all the time because they've always flipped for high dollars and also pretty quickly. I did look these up because I haven't found Adidas hidden wedge shoes in a long time. I wanted to make sure that they were going to do well. Comps looked excellent. There's also hidden wedge Nike Dunk shoes. Those, the sell-through rate and the sale price has gone down a little bit, but thrift stores still price them up really high. So the Nike wedge ones I do look up and I skip them most of the time because they're pricing them too high. These Mary Jane style pumps are by Madden Girl. I love picking up Madden Girl shoes. They do really well on Depop because I feel like Madden Girl focuses on that kind of demographic, the younger generation. These are in excellent condition. They haven't even been cleaned yet. I'm gonna do that after this video to get them posted. Same with these here. They haven't been cleaned, and they're also by Steve Madden, but not Madden Girl, just regular Steve Madden. They are some patent leather chunky chain square toe front booties. I looked them up on eBay and it did not look that great when it came to, I think, the selling comps. They were only selling for like $25 or so, and I did pay $6.50 for these, but I thought, you know what, I think that someone on Depop will give me $30 or more for them, so that's why I got these. These I was starting to look up, but I was just over it that day. I just decided to go ahead and get them because I thought there's a customer out there that's going to be looking for these. They are this lace see-through fabric here in the front, suede, also hasn't been cleaned, so I think I can make this suede look a lot better. The bottom soles are that wooden leather platform or bottom sole. Actually right here it does say they're all leather on top. The leather suede, the bottom is leather, the inside, and this is a brand that I'm pretty sure I picked up before. I don't even know how to say it. Pour La Victoria. They're size 9.5, and with these I can use awesome keywords like goth, whimsy goth, and they're also more of a formal boot, so that helps with those. Now let's move on to the stuff on this rack here. This first pair of shorts were mine. I listed them just because, or I am going to list them today, just because I'm not going to be wearing them anymore. This brand isn't worth much, but I like listing stuff even though it's not worth much, especially when it's free, it's mine, and I'm just getting rid of it because oftentimes they end up selling in bundles. This next pair of shorts are actually by Express. This is another piece that I found at the bins. I think I only found 2 pieces this day as well, which is most of the time what I end up leaving with at the Dallas bins. The one time I went to the Fort Worth bins, there I did leave with 5 pieces, so a little bit better, but I got these because they are linen blend. They are a tailored style short, which I think is a really good style for summer since the linen is lightweight, breathable, but they also look dressy. This here is by American Eagle. It is a micro mini pleated denim skirt, which is why I decided to get it. It is a larger size. Oh, not even. It's a size 10. So we'll see how this one does, but I expect that to do well on Depop. This skirt also I expect it to sell on Depop and do well there. It is a faux leather skirt. It is pleated and it is by Divided, which is an H&M brand, as you can see right there. I don't usually pick up that brand because it's cheap. It's not worth a lot, but there are a few pieces that can do well because they do a lot of style based stuff. I just sold a top that had a Peter Pan collar that was by this brand. I picked up for like $1 or $2 and it ended up selling for I think around the $20 mark, so I do like picking up that brand when the style is great on it. Although this is my first time picking up a faux leather skirt. I've seen a few, but they were a little bit more on the plain side. Since this one has the pleating detail, I thought that was the perfect chance to give a faux leather mini skirt a try. to see how they do. This one here is by Coldwater Creek, which again is a brand that is very cheap. It is not worth much. I see a lot of it, skip a lot of it. There are certain things within this brand that are going to do excellent based on style because they are vintage. This one here is 100% silk. It has this like abstract type print all over. Super flowy. Like, this is what I like to look for when I find these style of skirts. I recently sold a Coldwater Creek skirt for 25 bucks on Depop and I only paid like $3 for it. Same thing with this style of skirt, more of a fairy grunge skirt. I love this blue color with the dark floral contrast. It also has this trim here all over that gives it a little bit more structure. Super flowy. This does have a little spot somewhere that I didn't notice at the store. I don't even know if you can see it now. I noticed it till I was taking pictures, but I think that's not going to affect this style of skirt much, especially because you can barely see it when worn. This one here is by Coco somebody. Bianco. This one is just a polyester, so no silk, but I love the style of it. The sheer overlay over top of this black lining here. I think this should do well again on Depop. I took pictures but haven't listed it yet. Now we're getting into some of the jeans here. The first pair is by Pilcrow again. I showed you a dress that was by Pilcrow earlier. On the blue tag here, it'll say the style name. These are the Slim Boyfriend. I actually got these for me because I do have a pair of flare Pilcrow pants, which is actually what I'm wearing right now, and I have another pair here that I'm going to sell, and I love these pants. They're so comfortable, they're form-fitting yet relaxed. I don't know how to explain it. It's like they're not constricting or too tight. They have the perfect amount of stretch. So I thought, since I love this bootcut flare style, maybe I'll like this boyfriend style, but I didn't like the fit. I think the rise is just too low. I'm not sure what the issue was with them, but since I'm not going to be wearing them, I'm going to be listing them. But if I saw them at the store to resell, I probably wouldn't have got them. I didn't look them up, obviously, because they were for me. But I have a feeling the boyfriend style is not really a good one to be looking out for in that brand, at least. This one is one to look out for, no matter the style. It is Mother. Sometimes I can spot it by these M's that are embroidered in the pocket. And these are that traditional ankle fray style. A dark wash color, a little bit more loose on the end because sometimes they're a little bit more skinny. So yeah, that's why I got these. I actually found a lot of Mother, or quite a bit of Mother, here in this haul. I'll show you more. Here's the next Pilcrow pant, the one I was talking about where it's the flare. These are a smaller size though, a size 25. I did look these up because I knew that I wanted to resell them, and the comps were actually not that bad. I think the sell-through rate was in the 30s or 40s, and I should be able to get closer to the $28 to $30 for these pair of pants. Here's the next pair of Mother pant. This one is super dark wash, and it is more of a slim style, which I skip in pretty much any other brand when they're this super skinny jegging legging type, because it's a style that's really not in right now. But when it comes to Mother, I am able to flip it consistently for about 25 bucks or so, which is very little for Mother pants, but because of the brand, it holds so much weight, you're still able to move them. So if I can find them for like $3 to $4 when they're slim like this, I go ahead and pick them up anyway. Although I've never sold a dark wash super skinny pant by Mother. Most of the time it's either black or that faded gray color, so maybe I can get a little bit more for these. We'll see. And another thing with these Mother pants, with the slim ones, the sell-through rate is terrible. It's like at a 2 to 3% when I look it up on the eBay app, but I'm still able to sell them because I priced them so low. So if I can find them for a low price, I'll sell them for a low price, and it ends up working out. Here's the next pair of Mother pants. These I did pay up for because they're new with tags. I paid $15. They're not the frayed bottom hem, so I thought that was good because it's not completely out of style, I'd say, at least in my opinion from what I see, but it's not the best thing. So I was glad that these were just a regular hem and they're more of a looser pant leg down here instead of slim. I did look them up just to make sure that thought those $14-15, whatever it was around that, was going to be worth it, and it was. I don't think that I will sell these for any lower than like $60, but hopefully 70 or 80. We'll see with these. This is a pair of pants that I picked up without looking up comps, so hopefully it's not a mistake. FJ, it stands for FootJoy. It is a golfing brand, and I find these golf pants every now and then in men's and women's. I picked them up and they sold same or next day. The sell-through rate is usually pretty high, and you're able to get in the 30s for them. So I got these just without looking up comps because they were priced low. They have zippers at the pant legs. They also have Velcro here. Super lightweight, waterproof, rain style golfing pants for women. That's what those are. These here are similar to the Mother situation. They are Spanx, and they usually have a low sell-through rate when they're like this slim like this, but I picked them up because they are a larger size, because they were only like $3, because they're a dark brown suede, because I can use words like Western and equestrian to sell these. So even if I just get 25, but hopefully more since they're a larger size, that's okay with those. I'm not going to harp on these pants too much because I just did in that bin. They are the Maeve Colette pant. This is a purple lavender pastel and just a wide leg, size 32. You know what? I thought maybe this purple color isn't going to do well, but when I looked up specifically purple Colette pant, it still seemed to do well, so that's why I got that one. These I do need to start slowing down on. They're by We the Free. Super flare, well, not super because they have some pretty big ones. Normal flare pants, pull on style. I've picked them up lots of times in this blue jean and also a black denim, and they've been selling for me for about $25, sometimes a little more. So that's why I got these, but I think I'm going to start slowing down because I do have a handful in my shops right now that aren't selling. So if you find this style, I'd say go ahead and do your comps. Now we're moving on to some dresses and then some tops. Well, actually it looks like they're all mixed in here, so forget what I said. This one is by this brand that I do not know, Mule Swole. I picked it up because of the style. It has this necktie that is beige color with white polka dots all over. I love the silhouette of this dress. It is like form-fitting here at the waist. It has some ruching here. The fabric is like nylon filling, so I thought this was great to use words like preppy, sailor, Lolita even. I think this one is going to do well on Depop for me. This one I almost left behind because it is so plain. It is by this brand called Garnet Hill, but most Garnet Hill pieces are a little bit more on the plain side. But in the end I thought, you know what, no, I think I'm going to give this a go because it has pockets in the front and it gives more of a lagging look vibe. Is this rusty brown reddish color. For all of those reasons, I thought that it was worth the pickup. This top is by a brand called Elan. I picked it up because of the style. It has super flare bell sleeves. Also the color, it is more on the dark side, so I'll be able to market this as fairy grunge, which is what I did. I listed it yesterday. I don't expect to get much for it, somewhere in the lower 20s, maybe 18, but that's me just testing out different styles to see how much I can get them moving for. This one here is because of the style too. It is Dress Barn, which is kind of like Coldwater Creek. A lot of it is not worth much. The brand itself is not really that valuable, but there are certain things within the brand that will do well because they fit more of a vintage fairy grunge aesthetic. This one not so much, but I really like the style because it is a sheer. It has this velvet all over, so velvet burnout, little symbols. There's a star there, not a star, a butterfly, flowers in the back, this peacock looking thing. It is beaded everywhere. It has tassels at the bottom that also have beading there on the trim, and it is a silk blend. Silk blend little kimono style tops like this are usually worth money, so look them up if you find them. This I'm expecting to get close to $30. Here's that other Ralph Lauren piece. This is also a larger size, which is what I like to do with Ralph Lauren. I like to stick to the larger sizes. This one is an extra large, 100% silk, a yellow flowy summery blouse. It does have a built-in tank at the bottom and a self-tie here at the front. I was going back and forth with this one mostly because of how it was priced at the store. It was like $6.50. Yellow is not my favorite color. I don't think it's the most searched out color. More neutrals do better sometimes. But because we're in summer, it is tropical like. I'm going to try to get closer to what? Maybe the $28 for that one. This is the other piece I found at the bins that I decided to go ahead and get. I actually thought I was doing really well this day that I picked up this top and the linen shorts, because I found like 15 things. I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere here. I'm finding some of the brands that I find at the thrift stores. I think I'm going to do well. But then I check for condition. Most of the stuff was flawed, and some of the stuff that wasn't, the comps were extremely terrible. Nothing I could work with. So in the end, I just got the two pieces. I'm still gonna try a few more times, especially at the Fort Worth bins, because those seemed a little bit better. And I know that when you try a new sourcing spot, you have to give it a chance. You can't just go once or twice and think like, oh no, it sucks, price is too high, they don't have enough stuff, or whatever the case may be. You have to give it a few chances, because sometimes it depends on the day. Sometimes you got to figure out their routine, what sales they have, when it's the best day to go. So I'm still gonna try. All that to say, this is the second and only piece I got that day. It is a Rihanna Loud graphic t-shirt in great condition, 100% cotton. I did look it up, and I'm going to be able to get somewhere around 20 to 25 for that one. This is a huge BOLO brand. It's Farm Rio. Unfortunately, this is on the smaller side. It is extra small, but because of that brand, I don't think that I'll have a problem moving this dress right here. Farm Rio, I pick it up no matter what. As long as the price is decent, don't look up comps, because it's kind of those situations where if the sell-through rate is very low, meaning that it's gonna sell but a little bit on the slower end, but they price it too high, if I can get it on the lower end, I'll get it and just price it lower to get it moving faster. So I didn't look this one up at the store. When I went to list it, I did see that the sell-through rate was at like 10%, so I just listed it super low compared to other people who have sold it in the past. It does have like tassel beaded. It is cinched. It is super relaxed. It has this floral graphic, also parrots down here. It has this lace kind of trim at the bottom as well. It is a linen blend, so super beautiful, tropical, summery, coastal, beachy dress. So many keywords. This one is a very similar story. It is by N Galloway, a super expensive brand. People sell it for a lot of money online, but a lot of the times the sell-through rate is on the slower side. So I haven't gotten it yet. I've seen it a handful of times, but because of the sell-through rate, I leave it behind. This one though, I thought was unique enough for me to be able to work through that slow sell-through rate, so we'll see. It is a small size. It is a romper, zippers all over, and I thought I could use awesome keywords with it. It also has awesome stock photos, so my hopes are high for that one. And if that one ends up performing terrible for me, then I'll know moving forward N Galloway is a no-go, even if it's a cool style, because they do make a lot of unique pieces, a lot of more trendy, goth looking, sporty type pieces, but because of that sell-through rate, I'm never convinced until now, so we'll see. This next dress is by Listicle. Very similar to that intro dress that I showed in the bin. They make very unique, fashion, trendy dresses, tops, all that stuff, but it is a boutique style brand where if you look up this dress, you'll find it by many other brands, but I thought it was a beautiful one to give a try. It has a collared neck, buttons down the front, bows and flower graphic all over, a lace trim at the bottom. This can go well with words like coquette, fairy, cottage, all of those great aesthetics that are doing really well right now. This is a no brand dress, and I thought it was so freaking cute. I was talking about the word Lolita in my last thrift haul, and this right here is the definition of a Lolita dress. It has like a double stacked collar, bows all in the front, super flowy, lacy, floral lace here on the sleeves, has beautiful graphics all over, like celestial type prints. It also has cloth socks and all sorts of other things. The bottom is laced and ruffled, so that's why I wanted to give this a shot. Even though it doesn't have a brand name, I thought this will definitely sell on Depop. The only thing, when I went to photograph it, I saw that the lace actually is a little bit ripped here at the bottom. I did note it on Depop. It's already getting attention. People are asking me about it and stuff, so I do expect this to sell. I wish it didn't have that rip, but when I talk about Lolita, think of this dress and any shoes that would go with it. Bows, lace, all of that does really well on Depop. And this next dress is by Scarlet Darkness, which makes a lot of whimsy goth type pieces, but also they do make Ren Fair items like tops and dresses, which is what I went with for this dress. I market it more towards Renaissance style, Victorian style, more than whimsy goth, because I think whimsy goth would be more like a dark color, which I think I did use that word somewhere in the title or the description, but I didn't make it the main focus. It's kind of how I go about it with keywords. The keyword that describes the item the best is the one that I would put more towards the front, and the other keywords that kind of fit the item but not so much, I'll add it lower in the description or towards the end of the title. This Scarlet Darkness brand is not worth a lot, as I was saying before Kalani started barking at Lord knows, there she goes again. I'll just have to speak over her. But yeah, if you can find this brand in aesthetics that are for like Renaissance fairs and super whimsy goth looking, I think that you have a chance of selling it. Even though the brand isn't worth that much, you'll get like $20 to $25 for it. This one here is by Gimmicks, which this one and the rest of the items here are actually flawed. I'll have to wash some of them and others actually need repair, but I'll go ahead and show you anyway. This, I don't even know if you'll be able to see it, but in the back it has some sort of like faint yellow spots. I tried using a wipe to see if that got it off real quick and it didn't, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a wash and hopefully it gets off. I'm gonna use some Dawn dish soap and some baking soda, and then I'll rub that onto the fabric, let it sit for a while, then throw it in the wash, and usually that gets those kind of stubborn stains out. So hopefully that's the case with this one. But it is a longer length, I don't even know what to call this thing, a shirt, a cardigan, I'm not sure. It doesn't have buttons or anything, so it's just literally open front. It has this velvet trim here, black and red plaid. Gimmicks is a brand by BKE, and some of their stuff can do well. They have western boho stuff, and I like picking them up if they have a lot of unique features like this one. And most of the time the store isn't going to price it up that high because it's not worth much anyway. Here's this brand, Pilcrow again, which I do skip a lot, even though you've seen a lot of it here in this haul, but a lot of it comes back as terrible sell-through rates and selling comps. This dress though, I was surprised that the sell-through rate was amazing and the selling comps was great. I just picked this up a few weeks ago, so I've just been having it hanging in my closet. I think that what I'm going to do is just accumulate all of these items that I end up bringing home with flaws where they're unsewn or something. I don't do it on purpose, but sometimes I do come home with things that I didn't notice at the store were flawed. So when I have enough items, or probably more towards the end of the year, I will take all this stuff somewhere to get it fixed, because I can sew, but I don't think that great. I don't want the customer to get it and then it ends up being undone in a few weeks. That's the case with this here. It is undone somewhere, and it is so hidden that I can't even find it now. So it is right here underneath this thing. There is a rip. I don't want to throw it away and do away with the whole thing. Hopefully I can get it repaired later. This is a linen blend, so that helps. It has raw edges, a beautiful summer dress. I also talked about this brand in my last haul. It is Fashion Nova, a brand I skip a lot, but some of their styles are worth getting just based on style and then using keywords to get them sold. That's what I plan to do with this shirt. Look at it. It has a necktie, ruffles, very preppy, whimsy goth vibes, but I did not notice that it has a rip here on the shoulder, so that's why I wasn't able to list that one. This one, I swear I looked it over and over for flaws, because this is silk, and usually with silk, and especially in Johnny Was pieces, they tend to have rips here and there. So I was looking it over and over. I didn't see it, and then when I got home and I started prepping the item, I noticed it has a rip right here. So yeah, that's why I wasn't able to list this one, but but this is an amazing brand to be on the lookout for. If you don't know it already, Johnny Was. Their pieces are usually not priced that high, but you're able to sell them for a whole lot online. So hopefully I can get this one fixed eventually. This one I'm so sad about. I actually found it with the rest of this haul right here. It is by Ali Miles, which I just talked about too. I've never found a coat or anything by them. I've only always seen tops. So when I saw this one and I saw how beautiful it was, I was like, yes, that is amazing. It was like $3 or $4. I thought it was a great find, and I do not know how I missed this flaw. I think that it was not there. I think what happened was I picked it up, put it in the back of my truck, and it was a super hot day, the day that I went sourcing for all of these items. There was even a heat advisory here in Texas. So I think what happened is that this was in that black trash bag where they put the items, and it must have rubbed off on here, because there's no way I missed that huge flaw. There is no way. I literally take the item, I put it up like this to look at it. Sometimes I'll even run it on the cart very slowly like this and look over it. Like, there's no way I missed that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that off. I'm going to try to do that baking soda situation on it. Maybe not throw it in the wash, just let it air dry, and we'll see what happens. These here are by Velvet, which is a brand I've seen before but didn't pick up. It is by Graham and Spencer. It says below Velvet. They are 100% linen pants, and I was looking up 2025 fashion style trends. They said this color, this I forget how you say it, chartreuse green color, is one that's going to be popular this year. So that's why I got it, because it's linen, because it's a good brand, because of the color. But then when I went to steam it, I started to notice some spots. I can't even see them now, but I know there's like some discoloration somewhere. So maybe I'll still list them, because if I can't see them, maybe they won't either. I mean, I'll still have to disclose them, but if you can wear them anyway, maybe I'll still list them. These are ones that I got at the Fort Worth bins. They're by G. I did wash these already because they had that flaw. So it's right here between the pant leg. It is a faint blue stain now, but it was a little bit darker. I didn't end up taking pictures of these pants yesterday with the rest of the items because I think I'm not going to list them. Maybe I'll try stain treating them one more time, but I really don't think it's worth doing all of that, because for one, it's a cheap brand. It's not worth that much. I was expecting to sell these for like $18 or so. And also, when I washed these with some other clothes, it left a lot of like lint and just extra cotton stuff all over the stuff. So I really think I'm just going to go ahead and redonate these. But this style of pants does really well for me in all sorts of brands. I've been going through the capri section now, whereas before I would skip it all the time. People say capris are back in, but when I'm going through that section, I don't really look for the typical slim leg capri pants. What I look for is this, ruffles at the bottom. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I don't even like go through each single pant. I just look towards the bottom of the pant legs. That's what I do to find these style of pants quickly. If I'm in a rush, that's a quick way for me to find some extra items before I leave. These style of pants that have ruffles at the bottom, or even are like more of a barrel tapered leg pant at the bottom, they're called harem pants. There's also Victorian style balloon pants. All of those things do really well, because those aesthetics are on the rise right now because of shows like Bridgerton and all of those things. So yeah, go through the capri section when you can and look for ruffles at the bottom and look at sell-through rate. Chances are you probably can sell them, depending on the brand, for not that much, but those are usually not priced that high because they don't see that much value in them at the thrift store. So that's a great place to find a little bit of some hidden gems. I made it. I got this video recorded. Only one kid woke up. I have them settled over there, but I do need to start going to make breakfast, getting them ready for their dentist appointment as well. I think that's what the content on this channel is going to look like for a little bit. Just thrift hauls when I can get around to them, but I do plan on keeping up with the reseller income reports that I would do at the end of every month. I am going to start working on the May one here shortly so that I can get it out within the next week or week and a half or so. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to to see those kind of videos. In those, I share my total sales numbers for the month and profits, and share some of the best and worst sales of the month as well. If you found value in this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button so that I know that these videos are okay to keep making. That's all for me today. I thank you so much for stopping by my channel and for watching all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next one.